again, welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for joining our advocate training for Giving Day of 2023. As you can believe it, we are now, we are now 23 days away from Giving Day. From those of you who could just remember, it was just Giving Day, probably from the last thoughts in your mind to, hey, here's save the date, and now we're here. So it's really great to be here with you all. I should probably introduce myself. My name is Antonio Valero. I'm the Associate Director of Annual Giving here at the University of Redlands. I've had the pleasure of meeting several of you. Others, it's going to be great to get to know you as this training goes on. But I'm also joined today by several colleagues, so which I can go ahead and kind of start them off, and you just want to say your name, the department, and yeah. So Jessica, do you want to kick us off?
I'm Jessica Failure, Director of Annual Giving here at Redlands, and I'm super excited for Giving Day.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. And we also are joined by our special presenter today. So I'm going to pass on over to Erica.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Erica Smith, and I work on our leadership gifts team here in the development office.
Awesome. Thank you, Erica. And to introduce our last member of the team that we have here today, we have Melissa joining us as well.
Hi, I'm Melissa Seaberg. I'm the Assistant Director of Annual Giving, and I am also very excited for Giving Day.
Awesome. Thank you. And you know, it's so great being that we do have a crowd here with us. It'd be nice for you all to introduce yourselves as well. So you can kind of go ahead and see your name, affiliation, and perhaps what are you most excited about for Giving Day coming up. So I'll pass it on over to Kathy, which I guess is on this side of me.
Hi, I'm Kathy Schilling, class of 76. I'm on the PCLC committee, and always nice to have another chance to pick up a few more dollars for the U of R.
Awesome. Thank you, Kathy. And just kind of following my screen here, I'll pass it on over to Vandra.
Hi, Vandra Lockridge, class of 97, Alpha Theta Phi, and hoping to raise lots of money for Theta and the U of R.
Awesome. Thank you. And then I'll go ahead and continue on to Paige.
I'm Paige. I'm the co-director of the library. And there's just been so much going on that I think somebody added my name to this list. So I thought that I would attend and learn what I've been added to. So thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you. And it is great to have you here too. And I'll go ahead and pass it on to Eric.
My voice, let you see me too. Okay, hey. I'm over in the physics department, help out with engineering 3.2 and stay strong.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eric. And thank you again, everyone, for introducing yourselves. It's great to have you here. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. As I share my screen, of course, I don't get to see all of you here, but doesn't mean you aren't here. So go ahead and unmute yourself, ask any questions you may have. Of course, you know, this is a dialogue ongoing. Nobody wants to hear me talk the whole time. It'd be great to hear from you before we get to pass on over to Erica. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Let's see if I share the correct one. Of course, let's see. Excuse me 1 second. Perfect. Is everyone seeing the presentation on the screen here?
Yep.
Awesome. So I'll go ahead and just make that full. Oh, now we're seeing the wrong view now. Gotta love working with multiple screens sometimes. Let's see, excuse me. You know what, it's gonna keep switching it to the other screen, so we're just gonna go by what it wants. Can everyone see the presentation? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So,
yep.
Awesome. So what we have here is our Going All In for Redlands Giving Day 2023. As I mentioned, some things we have here for you all today is that we'll be going over because of you, and I wanted to share that with you all. We'll go over Giving Day 2023 and what that looks like this year, a walkthrough of some of the resources that we've had set up for you. So whether that be our main campaign page or our resource page as well, which is new to this year's toolbox, is exciting to share. And as mentioned earlier, we have an awesome presenter here with us to share with her best outreach practices. And she is also an alumna of ours, which is great. And we have our day of expectations, Q&A, of course, but of course, as I said, Q&A is throughout the whole training, so please, by all means. And then for one of you lucky attendees, I'm sorry, outside of our team, I'm sorry to our team, but anyone outside of our team, since you all are here, you have been entered automatically for a drawing that we have. So I'm great for you all to be here. So because of you, as I mentioned, 2022 was a great success. I'm excited to see what this year looks like, considering this will be my first giving day here at University of Redlands. But it's thanks to you all that that the university raised over 330,000. So to be exact, it'd be $334,730 last year on Giving Day. So that is just an amazing impact, and great to see. And part of who made that was the past Giving Day donors, which was 1,710 individuals who came back last year to give on Giving Day to University of Redlands, which again is just amazing to see, and it's seeing that involvement. And again, it is because of you. Thanks to your outreach and involving others and involving other, thetas to, go ahead and give back to Redlands as well. All of those outreaches make a big difference. So as I mentioned too, it'd be great to show you, and I'll be sharing just a lot of resources. And of course, don't feel the pressure to have to take the notes of all of these. We'll be sending out a meeting recap email as well as a recording of the training also, just so you have for your toolbox and review later. But some of the resources we have for you all this year is our Giving Day homepage, which I'll go ahead and show you right now, and as well as we built an advocate resource page. So for those of you who are choosing to help us with our outreach and outreaching to others in the community, you'll have one web page full of all the resources, and that includes graphics, sample verbiage, emails, Zoom backgrounds, and everything. So as I go ahead and, let me go ahead and open up this one here. You can actually pull this over. So here is a great view of our campaign page for this year's Giving Day. It was built by our wonderful team here. And as I mentioned earlier, so we have 23 days, 11 hours, 47 minutes, and 28 seconds for those of you who love the finer details in all of our countdowns and what we look at. So as you can see here, if you haven't seen our wonderful teaser clip to Giving Day, I would suggest you all visit and check that out. But on our main page, what you'll see here is information about Giving Day, as well as below, you'll see these wonderful icons and how to go ahead and add that to your calendar also, as well as more information. As I mentioned too, part of this giving page is where you'll sign up to be an advocate, but most likely some of you have already signed up to be an advocate, which is great. Within our campaign page and within your profile within our site, you're able to access your advocacy dashboard. From here, you're able to share with your network, create a match or challenge, and also create your own personal plea. It's been really awesome to see, and some of you, as you may visit here, will see personal plea videos from our students who have been creating those as well. For those of you that are a fan of social media or have your networks on there, this is where you're able to join and share via Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and also email. So we make it very easy and accessible for you to kind of share anything you may be trying to. Again, as I mentioned, if you want to make a match or a challenge, which of course, it's always great and impactful, this is where you're able to do so as well. Create your personal plea. And as you can see down here, I'm able to see what has my advocacy done for Giving Day. And so all of you are able to see that also. You'll be able to see how many gifts you have generated, how many from advocacy, what's the amount you've generated towards a Giving Day campaign. So of course, if you want to start an advocacy, like a little competition with your friends and whatnot, this is where we give you the data to tell them that you're doing a better job. So one thing to look out for there. As I mentioned too, we also have this brand new website this year. This is our Advocate Giving Day website resources. So it's really nice because it tells you how to become an advocate for those if you wanted to share with a friend, but we also give you the tools to do your outreach instead of just trying to like, oh, let me Google search a picture of a bulldog, let me do this, let me do that. What we have here for you is your one-stop shop, as I like to call it. So we have your Giving Day graphics. So if you wanted to download any of these and to use into your posts, into your pictures and text messaging, all you got to do is click download, follow the prompts, and then you have it. For those of you who like virtual meetings and want to show everyone at your workplace how awesome Redlands is and that we have our own custom backgrounds, we have those too, all right here, different varieties and choices. And so part of that, of course, with a picture, you also want some great words to go along with it. So what we have here, and we'll go into this further later on, is our suggested outreach calendar. We also have sample email templates for you to use when outreaching. So whether that be a save the date verbiage you're looking for, day of, or even in the future after thanking them for their gift, we have that available as well as your social media templates in case you want to post on your social media. We have examples of those also. So it's really nice that this one website has all the resources you need. And again, like I said, if you want to access your dashboard, all you would do is click here and it takes you directly there to your dashboard. So you can look at how you're doing. We also suggest you stay kind of up to date and check this page frequently because we do have event information on there for you. So when we look at the event schedule, on the day of Giving Day here on campus, and if you're in the area, we'll be having an all-in festival from 11 to 1 p.m. here on campus in the Hunsaker Plaza. So this is where we'll be having special performances by our dance company group. We'll also be having others. This is continuously being updated as we continue to get more involvement on campus. We'll have a welcome from the president, as well as we'll be doing more activities there in person. So whether that be the Octomole challenge, you might get to hear some students recite the Octomole word for word. And if they do it, they potentially unlock money for their student org that they're passionate about. So some great things to see in person. But this is our website. As I mentioned, you will get the slides with the URL, but they are fairly easy to access. For instance, our campaign page is www.redlands.edu/you're-all-in, you are all in. And then our advocate resource page, which is www.redlands.edu/you're-all-in/advocate. So we wanted to make them very easily accessible. So that is our resource page. As I was sharing with you, and of course, you all will get the links for these. But as I share this walkthrough, you can only do so much with all the tools and resources that we give you, but what better way to learn how to use those or get examples or hear kind of some insight on how to use that more efficiently. And so for that, I'd like to turn it over to our main presenter of today. And so that I'll pass on over to Erica. Erica?
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for all you're doing to make Giving Day a success. It's an important day for the institution. We're going to be raising some critical support for the institution, our students. So thank you for the role you're playing. The team in Annual Giving has done an excellent job in preparing lots of resources for everyone. Everything's beautiful, seamless, easy to use. So I think they've set everyone up for success, including building a suggested communications calendar, I would say. The most important, I would say, item on this calendar, from what I understand from the crew, is the day of 10 a.m. email, because that is going to help drive critical support that day. It's going to be all over social media, but we want to make sure we're driving people to the page that day. But leading up to Giving Day, there's a chance for you to reach out to your friends, colleagues, former students, supporters of the institution, to get them thinking about if and how they might take part in Giving Day. So here's a suggestion, and I believe this is in the toolbox, so you can reference it. But kicking off as early as this week, sending a save the date, letting people know what's coming. If there's a challenge associated with your area or an area you're personally passionate about or you hope to drive support for, we're going to include that information so that folks know what's happening. So a couple of suggested save the dates, whether it's social media, email, constant communication, keeping it in front of people is pretty important leading up to this day. We don't want them to forget about it. So just some pretty consistent messaging will help, raise support on actual day of giving. And then always want to say thank you. So following up to the people in your circle who've participated is a really important and nice touch. We always want to make sure we're saying thank you. You can reference this again in your toolbox and use it as a guide to how you might be communicating with folks leading up to Giving Day. If you're going to be making some more personal outreach. So whether you want to phone people or you want to send an email or a text message, here's sort of a formula that we work from and our volunteers work from. I look at you, Kathy Schilling, because I know your many years of service on the President's Circle Leadership Committee. You've seen this, you've done this work many times over. Making outreach can be kind of frightening sometimes. I mean, I know lots of folks who don't like to ask people for gifts. It is a thing. But I will say, you all have a leg up over me and anyone else in this office in that you are at the heart of it. You're either a peer, so a former classmate, you experienced Redlands together, or you're here doing the good work like Professor Hill in the sciences. You know the students, you know the outcomes, you know the impact that philanthropy is having on opportunities for students. So just think about that, make that your armor if you are a bit nervous, to make some more personal outreach. And if you do decide to go down that route, if you want to make some phone calls or a text message, I would encourage you to, if you're going to start with phone call, or if you plan to make phone calls, start with them first. Look at each call you're going to make. Identify a goal for yourself ahead of that. Is this going to be someone you just want to give them a heads up on what's coming down? Is there a challenge you think they're going to be really excited about? You just want them to share to save the date. Are you going to be asking them to consider making a gift ahead of giving day, on giving day? Just think about what you want to accomplish in the call. If you are getting some outreach information from the annual giving team, you're going to get some information to help you to guide that, whether it's their previous giving or when that last gift was, maybe even a targeted ask amount. Kathy, that's certainly applicable for the work that you do on the President's Circle Leadership Committee. And when I'm calling, I'm letting people know who I am, that I'm excited to make contact with them, and I'm always asking them if they have time to talk. An important first step. And then let them know why you're calling. Share, have a story or a point of interest, whether it's an update on the university they think they're going to be excited about, something that happened as a result of giving day, last year's giving day. That's one thing that I always try to do when I'm making contact with somebody on behalf of the institution, is I always have an add-on. I have something that's going to excite them, that I think is going to be of interest to them, that's not just me calling and asking for their support, but take some time to think through what might be a meaningful update or story to share with them. Build rapport, make an ask. And then be quiet because you got to give them the space to answer. Silence is golden when you're making an ask. So, it is a hard thing for volunteers to do sometimes, to make that kind of to make that ask, but it is so important. And just keep in mind that you are doing really good work on behalf of our students. It is impactful. Peer to peer, or the people who are closest to the work, it really is impactful and goes a long way. And if you're just calling to have them save the date, you're not really comfortable making an ask, a personal outreach from you to say, hey, this is coming down, this is on the horizon, really excited for you to take part, this is what I'm doing that day, and invite them to join you. Inviting someone to join you, and whether it's supporting a particular challenge or match or area of campus, that invitation is really important. And it does make a difference to the person you're making outreach to. This again is for reference. I would say, the only other thing is to have, leading up to it, the annual giving team has given you a great schedule to follow as far as emails, or you could insert text messages, but consistency really is key. So just leading up to the day, having some consistent contact with the folks that you plan to connect with will be really important for your success and the success of the day. They did include a sample script if you do plan to make some outreach. Yeah, this is, let them know why you're calling. Your excitement and enthusiasm will come through. So just taking a few minutes to prepare and yourself and what you plan to accomplish with each call will help guide your conversation. But there's a great script in there for you to reference, along with what will happen if they say yes or no. Go ahead, Antonio. Thank you. There's sample emails, and this is the email that you all will send out, or is this a sample volunteer? Excuse me.
Sorry, had to unmute. This is a sample volunteer one. So they'll
Okay,
be able to reference this and kind of reword it to what works best for them.
Yeah.
But everybody will get a thank you email directly after making a gift. So this is just a secondary thank you from you personally, but everybody will get a receipt and a thank you email automatically after giving.
And the team informed me today that you can encourage support ahead of Giving Day. It will, build early support that you can direct people to go to the campaign page to make a gift. It treats it almost like a pledge of support, and then it will, count as a gift, be charged as a gift on Giving Day. So you can build some early support, whether you have a match or a challenge you're trying to move the needle on. You can encourage, that might be some of your early outreach to try to get a head start towards a particular area of campus you're passionate about, or you think that person might be passionate about. But they've got all sorts of samples out there that you can personalize, and I would encourage you to think about in personalizing it and adding in something that they're not going to get otherwise. So if I were Professor Hill, I'd be adding in, maybe a really great update on a student who's had some great success connected to philanthropy or something of that nature, or just a really cool department update, how many students you have, or, information particularly for alumni that they're not hearing regularly. That's a great personal touch and something that they might find really interesting. Sorry to pick on you, Eric.
Oh, no, that's great. Thank you so much, Erica. That's definitely helpful, and it's great to hear your insight. Do we have any questions or comments for Erica? She'll still be here for the rest of the presentation, but of course, if there's anything fresh, by all means. Nope. Awesome. So we'll continue on with our show. So what we have here is a day of, right? So when Giving Day comes, our kind of what we're looking for as, what you might do on the day of as an advocate. So we have here is our to-dos versus our nice to-dos. Of course, you all don't have to do anything, but it would be cool if you all were to do these things. So such as reach out to at least 5 people, and that could be someone, those within your circle. Maybe it's 2 other alumni that and that you stayed connected with over LinkedIn and whatnot, or et cetera. Just reaching out to those that you know. And then posting on your own social media. You never know who your social media post will reach or who it'll influence to make their own impact. So as you've seen and as Erica has shared, we have those kind of resources and information for you to help make those posts just a little bit easier. And then one thing that'd be nice is this, a gift of $5. Every gift, as makes a huge impact, even if it's just $5. If we unlock, if we had 50 new donors, maybe that unlocks a new match or challenge, or who knows how far that goes. So just something to consider when you're thinking about making your impact here. So at least 5 is what we would kind of say, or more, of course, as you're always capable of doing. And then we have our nice to-dos. So that's sending out multiple emails. It's a huge help already for us, from you to us, of us sending out one email. But let's say if you send out multiple emails, let's say you follow the communications calendar, any kind of outreach is just a huge benefit to the university and the impact that we could potentially have. Next is also creating or identifying a match or challenge. Maybe there's a challenge or match that you see on our website that you want to participate in, by all means. Or maybe you want to create your very own match or challenge, is something that you're most passionate about during your time here, or what you want to share on Giving Day. And then of course,
Wait, Antonio, can I take a real quick insert? Yeah. Some people might know what the matches and challenges are, but some might not. So I just want to quickly cover what that is. So a matching gift can be set up by anyone, and it can be of any level, but generally it's a one-to-one dollar match. So they give a gift of $5, the matcher will give $5 to the same fund. So that's kind of how it works. And then with a challenge, it's an unlocking gift. So say you need 15 football players to make a gift to football before it unlocks this amount of money. So that just gives you some ideas, and you can make a challenger match yourself, or like Professor Hill, if there's someone you know who's like really passionate about the sciences, we can help get them to set up something on your behalf. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on the matches and challenges.
And we have matches and challenges of all dollar amounts. We have some matches that are $25, and then we have some matches that go all the way up to $2,000. So it can be a small amount or a large amount. We're just looking for matches or challenges to help engage people to give more.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica and Melissa. That information definitely is helpful. Perfect. So as we kind of look at, so here's another schedule, as I would like to refer to it as the Advocate Giving Day schedule. This is just a little bit more information than the kind of general public or community may know of what's going on our end as advocates and as members of the University of Redlands community. So what we have here is that all day on Giving Day on April 6th, we'll have a live Giving Day headquarters. So that means members of our staff will be available and present right there in Hunsaker lobby from 8 a.m. until p.m. We are there all day. It is headquarters. We're trying to make ourselves visible and as much resource and as much help as we can for anyone who's looking to make an impact on Giving Day. So if you need us, or if you have a question for us, or if you want to send even people to us, by all means, we'll be there in the Hunsaker lobby here on campus. For those of you who are participating in our all-day festival, the setup for that time will be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with the actual festival being, as I mentioned earlier, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Following there will be the teardown of the festival from 1 to 2, and so that'll be in the plaza. And what's really cool about this evening, or excuse me, this evening, on the evening of Giving Day, what we're looking to host and to have, and to what we're tentatively planning for right now, is what we would refer to as our Boba for Bulldogs. So that is just another social little event happening from 7 until 8 p.m. there in Hunsaker lobby. So students can stop by, perhaps have boba, and to, just be there in the space with us, because as it is a festival and is an all-day event, we hope to be celebrating all day, and we'll have a TV monitor set up there in the lobby so we can continuously see the impact growing throughout the whole day. So even if you're just walking through campus and you want to stop by all means, that is going to be your Giving Day headquarters where you can find us. So before we move into question and comment, and I didn't forget, we still have a raffle at the end, is we have our key takeaways. So some of the things, that Erica may have mentioned versus what we're sharing with you all is make it personal, of course, as you reach out. One of the things I still have to continue to remind myself is that anyone who I'm talking to is that they're a person too. I always forget that I see them as some like, oh, they can make an impact. I got to be super careful. But just remember, Erica's a person at the end of the day. Eric's a person at the end of the day. Melissa, everyone here, we're a person at the end of the day, right? And something to keep in mind. And then share memories with those outreach, and then remember just to share how much of an impact is made by every gift. Like I said, even $5. And as Jessica was sharing, if X amount of people give, even at $5, that still could potentially count towards unlocking a challenge there. So every gift is helpful. And one of the fun things that I like to share is that a gift is 40% more likely to happen when it's peer-to-peer. So that gift could be much more powerful if Paige is out asking someone she knows versus who's this guy, Antonio, calling from the school. They only call me for this. Whereas, oh, Paige, I remember her back when I was studying back in the library. And
No, I don't know. I think I like Antonio better.
we'll continue on that one, Paige. We'll leave that one open for debate. But I hear you. And so, kind of just remembering it's peer-to-peer. And then, of course, sending them to the Giving Day website. Even if they say no, is saying, well, remember, you can always go here if you change your mind. Just letting you know that still stays open. And of course, if you have any questions, we are here to help. We are here to answer any questions. And so with that, I'll move into Q&A. Is there any questions, comments? Anything from everyone, or is everyone just waiting for this awesome raffle that Jessica has been holding in her office today? Which is fair. It's pretty awesome, so I understand.
I did have a question. You mentioned a list. So I'm stepping in as the interim co-director right now.
Mhm.
Do you have a list of possible contacts that I might look through, or are you referring to lists that each unit might?
So our team has worked on our end into providing lists. So we'll be providing lists for your department, for our internal campus partners, and as well as some of our external volunteers, such as like Kathy with our PCLC group. You all will be receiving contact information for those that have given previously to that area. For instance, anyone who supported the library, you may have their name, email, and phone, depending on what information we have on file, is the kind of contacts you will get. As being a part of our internal campus. So you'll have some point of reference of who to contact.
Thank you.
Of course. Any other questions, comments? And I will be providing our contact information also at the end of this. So in case you think of anything later, as soon as we push in and you think of the question, you'll have our information.
I had a question. In years past, I know there's been some confusion for some of the contests with the Greek like leaderboard. So I don't know if there's any clarification on that. If I'm remembering correctly, the issue is like if a Theta donated to like soccer, then she wasn't counted as a Theta donating because she didn't donate to Theta. And I don't know if that's still the case or if there's any clarification on that.
I'll clarify there. We've changed it so Greeks will be what we call an affiliation. So you'll be able to choose directly that you are a Greek, and then it won't matter where you give, as long as you choose that that's your affiliation to us.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, if there are no other questions, we will raffle drawing time. That was my excitement, kind of like raffle. Do I do a drum roll?
Raffle, yeah, let's get more excited. Okay, we are raffling today this cool pint glass. And I've got everybody's names. All right, here we go. A little bit of that. The winner is Professor Eric Hill. Woo!
I think that's only fair, given he was used multiple times as an example during this call. Very fitting.
I know, him and Kathy should get an extra pat on the back for being picked on constantly.
I don't know. I picked on page 2, so.
That's true. We did spread it around evenly, I think.
Well, we appreciate you all. Eric, I will find you in your office to get you your glass. Antonio.
Well, yeah, awesome. So what we have here, and thank you again, all of you, for joining. As always, we appreciate your help in reaching out and making an impact here, because it can't just be, you know, us four. Rather, we have this whole group, and then all our others who weren't able to attend. I'm excited to see the impact we'll have. So again, thank you all for joining. I have here on the screen some of our contact information, but again, I'll be sending out a recap email as well as a recording of today's training.